Good morning, my LinkedIn family. I am really, really sorry for this 2 minutes delay, which was due to my mistake. Um, I started everything. I even started talking, and I played the promo and everything, but I did not go online. Did not go live. So, and then only I got carried away. I was speaking to a great uh, guest that is waiting for us backstage at the moment, and I thought that I am. Uh, I thought I'm live, and I wasn't live, and that's the reason uh, you had to wait for a couple of minutes. So thank you very much for joining in, and this growth talk that I bring every morning at 8:35 a.m. Canada Eastern Time is focused at growth. Very simple. And the thought that came to my mind is that we all work for ourselves, well, most of us, and how much do we contribute back to the community that is out there and that is suffering? And my growth talks, the idea of growth talks came with this discussion that I had with some friends and in the business community in GTA. I'm part of a business club, and the name of the club is Connecting GTA. It's a great club, uh, and because of COVID, people are suffering, and they lost jobs. Some of them lost incomes and stuff like that. But do we really want to remain like that? Or do we want to come out of the situation and move on and do things that would help us grow? With that objective, I started a series of growth talks from 1st of January, and today is the 14th show of that growth talk, 14th show. So that's pretty good. And you are my inspiration. People who come in and join, spend their time. You are my inspiration. That helps me going. So this show is going live on LinkedIn, on my Facebook page, as well as on my YouTube channel. Uh, and without any delay, because we've already lost 5 minutes of our time, I'm going to bring with me a great guest, great speaker. She's a coach. She is a mentor for young people and women entrepreneurs. Very inspiring from New York. And her name is Tannasia Gonzalez. We call her T. You can call her T also. And here she comes. Good morning, T.
Good
How are you?
morning. Good morning, Hamad. Yes, please call me T.
Yes,
Uh,
please
First of
go ahead.
all, thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your show and to talk with you this morning. Really looking forward to it.
Uh, yeah, so it's a great opportunity for us to hear from you
Mhm.
as to what you have been doing, what are you up to, and given the fact that, as I said, is your speaker on? Can you please
Yes. Can
can
you
you
hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. So when I'm speaking, can you turn off your turn off your microphone, or I can do it because otherwise I'm hearing that noise. So let me turn off your microphone, and then I'll turn on when you speak. Okay. All right. This is better. So tell us about yourself and what you do, and then we will um, recognize some of the people who are joining us. There are already a few people who are online, um, and with that, we'll continue our discussion uh, based on what we spoke. So, we'll try to cover those three questions quickly, and then we'll take questions from people who are out there. And while you are talking, I will continue recognizing these people who are joining in by showing their name on to the screen. So over to you, T.
Wow, who is T? That is loaded question. Okay, so I'm now in the fourth decade of my life, and I'm in healthcare. I've been in healthcare for well, 20 years. I mean, I know for some folks in my network that is no time at all because I know people who have been in for 50 plus. You know, a lot of them are my great mentors. So I actually was raised in healthcare. My mom was a healthcare professional. She was a nurse, a long-term care administration member for over 45 years. So, I mean, I literally grew up in nursing homes as a kid, riding the blood pressure machines up and down the hallways, talking to all the residents. And um, naturally, I'm a person who likes to help folks. So healthcare seemed like a natural place for me to be. And this is why I am in healthcare. And as I got on my career journey, I bumped into this passion for data and reporting, and actually taught myself how to work with data, patient data, create reports, build quality improvement projects, and actually taught myself how to build databases, and been on that journey for some time, both in the corporate world as well as in the entrepreneurial world. Um, I have started a corporation to serve healthcare organizations with small data tools and small data processes. And it's been quite a journey. I've met so many great people, including the Lieutenant Governor of New York State. I met a lot of big people who have made lots of connections and really live and understand the importance of networking and building alliances. And with youth, I do have a passion for working with youth. I mean, that's something that's just come naturally. Um, I've had some folks just tell me, I think of you as a mentor. And I go, really? And it's nice to be able to help someone, and help them with my experiences and my journey, because I've learned so much over the years, and I've connected with so many great people who are so supportive, and just I keep them at an arm's reach. I tell people that I collect people, because when I encounter something, I go, oh, I know who I can reach out to for this. And I keep those connections open purposefully, text messages, emails, LinkedIn, um, and just keep the network active, because it's such a beautiful thing to be able to um, connect with folks and give back and receive. It's and that's tea, and anybody who knows me knows I'm very passionate about stuff. I throw myself fully into projects that I'm working on, especially data projects. And data, not just for data to be working with data, but for where it can take us and what it can help us do, to improve lives of patients. And I've done that time and time again. And it's so enjoyable and fulfilling for me. And so that's why I felt like, my calling is to provide my skills and talents through my private business as well as the work that I do on the corporate side. I get to work with data all day long, every day. It's so enjoyable. I love the folks that I work with. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm still on the journey. I'm taking it day by day. Actually, when I went into my undergrad, I was planning on becoming an OBGYN, believe it or not. So I was pre-med. I mean, this is such a common story. I went in as a biology major, on the path to become an OBGYN because I wanted to start my own family practice eventually. There we go, the entrepreneurial side coming out. And I wanted to have specific programs for adolescent females within my program. That was where I was going. But slowly but surely, I realized that the doctor route really wasn't for me. So I went and I got my MBA in business management, small entrepreneurship. And that helped me a lot today. Still in the healthcare scene, still on the adolescent girl scene, and trying to develop those two paths together. Yeah, so I've always been a very creative mind. So I've written a couple of plays and I've been working with folks to try and get those out there in the mainstream. I've been working with a very good friend of mine who owns his own production company, production and media company, and we've created a short film. We've been really pushing getting this material out there. So got a couple of things going. I've got a couple of things on the bucket list. Not a couple of things, many things. And I'm really focused on completing as many of those as I can before I
Great.
leave this life. Yes.
All right. Yes. No,
And
thank you
that's
very much.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So the topic today's topic is passion leading to success, and this is what passion means. And there
Yes.
are certain things that you can't really describe. I have to mute you. There are certain things that you can't really describe, in this world. So passion is one thing. There could be several descriptions, and it can only be explained, and it can only be felt and practiced. So what you have done is you felt it, you learned it, and you're practicing it. So that's a great thing. And you also mentioned about mentoring, and people consider you as a mentor. Um for a lot of people, because I had been mentoring and coaching for over 25 years, and people come to me, and sometimes young people particularly ask, how do we find mentor? So it's usually very close to you. A mentor should be very close to you, not necessarily somebody like Gary Vee should become your mentor, for instance, or Tony Robbins becomes your mentor, because you can't afford them. First of all, these people are just too expensive to afford. They don't have time uh, for people who are not paying them. So what they are doing, they're putting out their videos and podcasts and stuff for people to learn. Whereas so ideally a mentor should really be working with you or a group of you. And the best mentor is, quote unquote, somebody who can give you time. Uh, Otherwise, you can, I mean, obviously, a lot of adults can learn on their own, but it will be a bumpy ride for most of them. So today's session is, and by the way, we already have questions coming in. Noman, I will put your question a little later, so stay in this session because there are three major questions that I wanted to ask uh, in this session, so that he could share her views on those questions, and based on that, there may be other questions. I may have some questions, or maybe you have some questions, participants in this show. So stay with us, and I will definitely share the question. So first question that I have, and I put that question online also. How do you lean into your passion? I mean, what is one thing that actually pushes you into that state that you call, like, I'm passionate about something. Over to you, T.
Ooh. So now I'm not an expert on stuff. I can just speak to what's worked for me and what I see my close alliances doing that works for them. So how do you lean into your passion? I mean, it's what you know, it's here, it's in your heart. It's what you foresee for your future, being clear about that, and then leaning into it is just okay. So I want to accomplish this thing here. Um, hmm, how do I get there? What is the journey from here to there? And then once you start thinking in that way, things just open up and start happening. And then it gets you more excited and more passionate about really exploring, okay, how do I get there? And it's really, they say the things you're passionate about really speaks to your purpose of being here, purpose in life. And everybody's like, why am I here? What's my purpose? To answer that question, what are you passionate about? And most likely that's going to lead you to what you're really good at. And so that is, I hope I answered the question.
So basically, identifying your own love for something. So some people really are, and it's not easy. And at times you work in a field which is totally irrelevant to you, and uh, and you then start realizing, like, when you're already in the business or in a job for X many years, then you start realizing this is something that you really either don't like, or you want really to do something different. I mean, in your case also, you are in data and you're in healthcare, but your actual passion is to help other people grow. For me, throughout my life, my passion, like 35, 36 years of working career, and as I told you, I worked in more than 10 countries, had been wherever I went for work. Almost every time after work, I would go and speak to young people. I would speak to Chamber of Commerce, Board of Directors, and try to kind of help them do something differently or think from a different tangent, uh, using my international experience and my experience within that particular field. So that's how you kind of work around your passion, as to when you start enjoying things that you do. Uh, as soon as you feel, okay, this is the joyful part of me. If I do this, I really have fun. You use the word fulfillment. Yes, fulfillment, and the reward that you, I mean, there is, I mean, there could not be monetary rewards all the time. I mean, of course, like money is very important. You have to put food on the table and pay your bills and everything. But at the same time, your passion is a bit disassociated with the monetary part. You just do it, and the money will start flowing in. So what I usually tell people, when I speak to them, is that you have to start from somewhere, and instead of just wasting your time watching a nice movie or a TV show, you need to find one thing that you really want to do in your life and just do it. Work with people or join group of people who are actually doing it already. So no, it's a great way to kind of identify your passion. And the second question I had for you was how to get and stay connected with your support teams, alliances, and mentors, because often the time there are channels, there's LinkedIn, there is Facebook groups, there are WhatsApp groups, but we are often overwhelmed with information, and they are also overwhelmed with information. How do you find that sweet spot that they would actually read your message? How do you do that, T?
So I kind of touched on that a little bit earlier. Prior to COVID, I mean, I was in the habit of just reaching out to, my mentors, I call them, my alliances, those folks that I can tap into who support me, who are very experienced, or where I am, who, I connect with, and we have a mutual, connection benefit. Um, and just say, hey, can we like get together for lunch? I'd love to pick your brain about XYZ, or just connect with you and just talk, and let's talk to each other about what we're doing in our lives, and just share experiences. But constant emails and reaching out and just staying connected, and sharing, basically, that word is key. Just don't be afraid to share with your network, your mentors, your trusted mentors. Share what you're doing, because more than likely they're going to be able to contribute and you'll be able to give back. And so that's how I stay connected with my network. I know everyone's super busy. Life kind of gets in the way there with the regular stuff. But for me, what worked is just staying connected. By way of email, calls. It doesn't have to be a lengthy conversation. Like, hey, I just wanted to call you, see how you're doing. And not just for the benefit of getting your network connected, but thinking they're people. You're connecting with your tribe. My executive coach likes to call them my flock. The flock. Just staying connected with the flock. And just say, authentically, how are you doing? I would like to stay connected. How's it going? Here's what I'm up to. What are you up to? Just stay connected and be authentic. That's how I do it.
No, great. I think you just nailed it so nicely. Be authentic. Why would somebody speak to you? So think about it. What I get, because I do this mentoring and coaching, and like how do you build your network on LinkedIn stuff. And people ask me, why would somebody connect with me? I send out invites and nobody listens to me and nobody accepts my invite. Uh, See, the way I kind of try to portray it is that you have a business and you have a shop in a very expensive mall and you don't have any commodity to sell. Nobody is going to come and browse. So you need to build that inventory. You have to place that commodity out there. So everyone is special in this world. Everyone has that talent. Often we don't utilize that talent, kind of projecting ourselves. So, kind of, if you are really looking at connecting with people, you have to add value to their thinking process rather than just sucking their thinking. So, you can still suck it. I mean, obviously, there is always an exchange of ideas, but you have to contribute first before you start thinking about using somebody else's knowledge. So, so that's really important, and it's a great message for those people who really want to build their network. Is to stay authentic, uh, and try to help other people. I mean, okay, I'm not huge, but my 56, 57,000 network, it did not happen overnight. It took me time, and efforts, and adding in content and helping people with my content to learn. And that's how people start connecting with you. That's how people start talking to you. And then life becomes a little bit more easier, a little bit more hectic also, because there will be a lot of people who would want to talk to you. So thank you very much. I think, hey, we have Suresh Kumar. So I was talking to you about connecting GTA, the business, the great business group that I'm part of. Suresh is the founder and the president of that connecting GTA group. So thank you very much, Suresh, for taking time out and joining this session. Joining this session, it's such a pleasure to have you here. We have some questions, so let's take some questions, maybe like one or two questions, and then we come back to our topic again. And I mean, this is also pretty relevant to you. So this is the first question from Noman. How do you foresee in the near future post-pandemic any plan to share data insights globally while Wikipedia to cure and or to improve healthy lifestyle? Uh, yeah, over to you.
Wow. Am I off mute? I can't see it. Okay. Um, that's a great question, Saeed. So one thing this pandemic has taught us is that we can adapt and adapt quickly. And a lot of the stuff that we have developed because of this pandemic to try and keep ourselves at some kind of normalcy will continue after this pandemic is over. So quite naturally, sharing data online. There are a number of ways we can do that I've been seeing folks really lean into, particularly like YouTube videos where you have your YouTube shows where, you're doing your podcasts and similar to what we're doing here, but just the way that you can share information online and interact um, and have an interactive session with folks sharing data. Like the big data is very good at highlighting insights for folks. And so we could take that and have an online interactive discussion with targeted groups. Um, that's how I see, and talking with targeted groups and really gauging and tracking how the information they've received is actually making a difference in their lives. So I feel that's my response to that question.
No, thank you very much. The other interesting thing about knowledge is that uh, there's a knowledge explosion. As I say, there's a knowledge explosion. There is so much out there. That's you. Uh, there is so much out there, and there is so much fake news out there, as our previous Mr. Trump used to say. And he was right in a way also. There's a lot of fake news out there also. And it's very difficult for a common person to kind of differentiate between what is real and what is fake. So first of all, as we all say, podcasters and social media professionals, work or look at authentic information. Do not accept everything which is still on mute, so I can unmute you if you want to say something.
Okay. Yeah, so I was going to say, yeah, to that point, it has to be coming from a trusted source.
Yes,
And so, you have your trusted source, and then you build your relationship with the audience and the trusted source. And then after you've accomplished that, then you can move forward with sharing the information and having those interactive sessions because you've already built that trust.
yes,
And it's good information, authentic information.
yes. And
Yeah.
having worked in countries where English was not the first language, and given the fact that a lot of research and a lot of data related work and kind of scientific work happens in the West, a lot of information is not available in those languages. And when people, smart people, scientists in from those countries try to convert that information into their language, some information is lost. So that's a process. And one of the disconnect I see in most of the cases is due to illiteracy. Globally, people are, I mean, millions and millions of people are out of school and they don't go to school. So their level of understanding of information and how important it is for them to follow certain instructions is, uh, is, is, is a major issue. I mean, it's not a small issue. I mean, Africa, a lot of South Asia and other parts of the world where literacy levels are not high, you can feel the difference. So for me, as you know, I've worked in so many countries. If in South Asia, if I go to Sri Lanka, which has 90% above 90% literacy rate, behaviors are very different as compared to other parts of South Asia, and that one thing actually defines anybody who's kind of looking at various countries, various kind of environments. I can actually feel it. So whenever I went to Sri Lanka, I actually felt a difference. Okay, I mean, it's still, economy is bad, politically unstable and all that, but still people, a common man has a better understanding of situation. So I think we've gone a little bit further in this response. Second response is from my mentor, Shabir Kazmi Saab. By the way, he's also an MBA, a very, very seasoned journalist who writes about economy, on economy, uh, very, very regularly. And he mentored me and kind of on the journalistic side of things, and I mentored him to become an online guru on with his blogs and everything. So thanks for your question, Kazmi Saab. I will. Uh, I mean, if you allow me to take a hit on this one, empowering women financially is a great topic. Uh, but we can, and but basically, you don't look at Pakistan only. You can actually use this line anywhere in the world. You go to the US, you need to empower women there also. You go to Australia, you
Yeah.
need to empower women there also. So this is a great line. But if you and I would like to work, I mean, I'm more than happy to discuss it and fine tune it, Shabir Khalid, offline and on WhatsApp. But I know you're doing a great thing with your economic reports and everything. So keep it, stay there and keep inspiring and stay healthy.
Right.
Uh, we have, I think, one more question from Shehzad. Yeah, I think it's more like a statement, which is great. Yes, connecting is not easy, uh, uh, but it's not difficult also, right? So you need to identify. So the way I go with that, when I work with young people, not anymore because of COVID, we are not having like physical workshops or sessions. Uh, but I would always, whenever I had gone to the university and talking to these people, I said, no, if you are in a conference, that's a great opportunity to network and know more people. So usually, and I'm talking purely from the South Asian perspective, so you have to bear with me for that. Usually what happens is two friends go together in the same car or in the same bus to a conference. They sit together, they have a cup of coffee together, and they leave. So you have not gained anything. You probably, because your attention time span is only 6 to 8 seconds, and by the time you come out of that conference, you have already forgotten 99% of what was told. The only thing that you can gain from that conference is 4 or 5 people who you can speak with later on. So take that as an opportunity to connect with people. The other thing is that, yeah, I'll take you on that. So just 1 second. Other thing is that, a lot of people, what they do is that, we have Gary Vee, we have Hamad on the podium also. We have Shazad or somebody like that. And Shazad and Hamad are not that popular. People don't know us that much. Whereas Gary Vee is famous, right? So what you would see in the breaks that everybody is around Gary Vee, and Shazad is standing in another corner having his cup of tea, and I'm also thinking, nobody comes and speaks to me. You know what? At that time, we are the most important people because we can listen to you, we can connect with you. Gary, we cannot. So 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 that's how you build your connections. And on LinkedIn also, it is an effort, but a strategic effort helps you build that connection. Nothing happens overnight. It takes time. So you want to add something to it, T?
Yeah, so I was going to say, in response to Shazad's comment, yeah, building connections is not easy, but it's important not to just send connections just to be sending connections to get more connections. It's they have to be meaningful, and like my favorite word is authentic. I mean, I don't have an expansive LinkedIn network as you do, Hamad, but I have about 2,500 people on my network, and most of them, the majority of them, I've met in person. And I'm that person that when I'm at conferences, I'm usually what they call working the room. I love to talk with folks. I love to connect with folks, and as many as I can. And I collect a lot of business cards. And one of my mentors one time told me, when you take a business card from someone, you don't just take it and put it in your pocket. You take it, you look at it, and you connect the face to the name. And before I get away from the event, I make sure that I write on the card um, points from our conversation. And then once I get home, I follow up with all of the connections that I collected business cards from, or contact information. And hey, it was nice. It was such a pleasure meeting you today. Nice talking to you about XYZ. You know, I'd love to learn more about XYZ. Let's get together. Let's do lunch. I mean, you can't do lunch with 2,500 people constantly, but that's how I built my connections over the years, and authentically, and the connections have meaning, you know, um, and you know, I just wanted to say that to Shazad.
Yes, absolutely. So Shazad, actually, our friendship started with him contacting me for his LinkedIn profile optimization. So initially I mean, he was my client, and when we started like working together, we became friend. And Shazad's wife Anju, she teaches in a college now in Toronto. And then she started like she had a call with me, and we got connected. So often I always think, okay, monetary benefits and money is very important, but you know money comes later. It's always the relationship which is more important. Yeah, money follows. So you build that relationship, and in that process you will find people who are just as like yesterday's guest said, who could be energy vampires. They would suck your energy, and there's no return. But you can always weed those people out. I love this book by Jack Welch, GE CEO, Winning. So if you read Winning, in that in that book, he actually spoke a lot about weeding people out. So weed out those people who are like your energy suckers, for instance. But you see, you never know who is that one connection that can really help you, or you can help someone. um, so at the moment, like somebody is commenting, his name is Akbar. He's looking for he's looking for a job. But Akbar, you don't find job by just commenting that you're looking for a job. There is certain effort that you have to make to be able to get into an opportunity or find an opportunity. So if you listen to this whole uh, uh, podcast live session from the beginning, you will learn that. Learn that and implement that strategy. If you say I'm looking for a job, nobody's going to give it to you. Believe me. Uh,
You know what? Yeah, folks ask me that a lot. And that word job, it's like, are you looking for a job or are you looking for a role?
yeah.
Are you looking for a position? Are you looking for a place in an organization where you can serve? So start from that and like exactly what is important to you. What is your passion? Be clear on that first before you start looking for a job or I know we need to make money, we know that, but we might as well be making money uh, doing something we love. And so if you're clear on about what you love, then it's easier to find your place. And the minute you do that exercise where you really sit down, write it out, get clear about what you're looking for, what you're passionate about, and you're building out your resume, you're building out your cover letter, you're building out your LinkedIn profile, all of a sudden the universe starts presenting you with opportunities that are in alignment with that. So I always tell folks just be clear on what is it that you're looking for exactly. Write it out. Sit down and write it out on a piece of paper. I want this salary. I want this title. I want these responsibilities. This is what I want my hours to look like. I mean, just be real clear. And like in when the law of attraction folks, they're like, put in your order, and just write it out, visualize it. You got to be it first, and then
Yes.
it will come.
Yeah, so your power of manifestation, and this is one of the topic that I covered in my morning talks.
Hmm.
Is there was so I cover one topic every morning. So one of the
Okay.
topic was focus. Now, how do you focus? And I
Hmm.
think for the benefit of those, particularly Akbar, who is probably looking for a job. I mean, he is actually looking for a job. I'm going to put you on mute. So focus is really important. Now, in our lives when we are growing and still like at whatever age you are, a lot of people tell us to focus, but nobody teaches us how to focus. So it's a thing which people say like passion. You have to be passionate about something. But what does it mean? So if you learn how to focus, then you will be able to focus. And the other thing that T just mentioned is power of manifestation. Can you manifest where you want to be, who you want to be, what you want to have? Uh, and once you start doing that, you don't have to ask. You can create it yourself. And this is not theory. This is not theory. I have done it. T has done it, and other people in my network have done it also. So Akbar, I think a bit of deviation, but message for you today is you have to work on yourself. Don't ask. You will get it. When you ask, you won't get it. Remember that. Work towards it. And then my favorite question, T. My
Uh-oh.
favorite question, T. This cure, how do you cure yourself from perfectionism? And people are talking about perfectionism, and our teachers teach us about perfectionism, and we fail if we don't do things like this, and there is a
Right.
competition out there. What the hell is that? I mean, I'm not a perfect person. I can never be. I am a messy person, but I'm still doing well. So how does it work?
So it's really about progress, not perfection, right? I mean, that's what folks have to remember. And usually it's us females that fall into that trap of trying to be perfect. Like, you don't do it on purpose. I guess it comes from programming from when we were children. What we were taught was right or wrong, and it, like it, we have to really speak to those limiting beliefs that are back here and the programming within our subconscious mind, right, to really understand what's driving that. But I had a good mentor, another mentor, who I hope she's out there watching right now. I definitely invited her, but she said, T, you ever heard perfect is the enemy of the good? And oh, because I would always try and make my reports and everything super perfect, but I've already surpassed the point where they're good and they will help get us to it's just stepping back and trying not to make everything perfect because nothing and no one will ever be perfect. Um, I mean, it's really it's something that we women business folks have to. I feel like the guys really don't really fall into this trap. I haven't seen it with men so much, and I can't answer the question as to why. It's just my observation. But we tend to really hamper ourselves or impair our progress by trying to be perfect, because it could lead to procrastination as well. Um, and I'm not perfect. I still fall into that trap, but now I'm aware of it. And I stop and say, okay, do we really need to keep trying to make this perfect and add that and add this and that? Or are we at good right now and we can move on? Um, so that's that's my answer to that. And like, how do you cure yourself from this trying perfectionism is just being mindful that it's there, and addressing it when it comes up.
Yeah. And the term I use, G, for this is near perfectionism. If you are near perfection, if you're near perfectionism, then it's okay. I mean, not everybody is going to be 3.8 GPA, right? But somebody who is 3.2 GPA or even 3 GPA could do marvelously in their careers because they are smart enough in taking that knowledge and implementing that knowledge into their workplace, in their careers. For instance, so when I was very young, I had this opportunity to work with, like, or get engaged with some fascinating people who really helped me learn things, and they would just tell, right? And they will just say it. It's on us. How do we pick that thing up and try to implement those things in our life? So one of the things that I learned, like I'll mention two things. I think I mentioned one of those yesterday also. Is that how do you learn language? So I mean, I speak decent enough English, but English is not my first language. I studied in Urdu language until my high school. So English never was my language. English is still not spoken at my home, but I still speak English. I conduct all my sessions, trainings, and everything in English. I am not perfect, but I am near perfect. I think at times I speak better English than a lot of English speaking people, right? Because I actually worked hard towards learning it. So that's what we call their perfection. The other thing is that you will grow in your career, in your life, in your business if you know how to figure out things. If you can figure out, you can do it, right? So that figuring out process uh, is an interesting process, and you have to really think and put your efforts and try to learn around it. And these are the two things that I would really wanted to add to things. So we have Anju saying, I mean, she's human to human connection, and with this opportunity that we have technologically, uh, there are human to human connections. You can still build those connections through Zoom and all, like telephone calls and WhatsApp calls and all that. But there has to be a starting point. You have to identify that one person that you want to connect with, build that relationship, and then you connect with it. T and myself, we are part of a great community called, we call it GA family, Growth Academy family. And I spotted T, and I really liked, the way she kind of presented herself, and, her coaching and mentoring thing. And I requested her if she wants to come on my live session, and she kindly accepted it, and is giving us her precious time to me and to my community to do so. And there is no string attached to it. I mean, it's just like I requested her. She said okay, and I have a list of at least 15 people in the pipeline. So I want to be more organized from February in these shows. So which means that 15 people, if I bring in one person every week, I have enough to serve for 16 weeks, really. So that's a huge number. And all these connections were built slowly and gradually. Well, a big one, T, you and I have been gone behind it. Um, I volunteer my time tutoring new immigrants to Canada with English language skills, and she, by the way, she's an English language teacher, and she works at Humber College at Department of Applied Research and Innovation. She's working on a book, passion expressing, writing, poetry, conversation, storytelling. Can instrumental bring change innovation. So fantastic, Anju. It's such a pleasure to know you, and we are actually Anju and I are talking this Monday for the second time. The first time we spoke, I tried to clear some things up, and hopefully this relationship and this is how relationships are built. I mean, nobody's perfect in this world. We all have our issues, and we have to work around those issues. Um,
I want to just say, Hamad, so Anju, oh my gosh, I was reading your comment just now and just connecting with so much of that, especially the storytelling. I'm a storyteller, and I love what you're doing. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to support what you're doing on that front. Let's connect afterwards.
Super.
Um, yeah, I
She
will
lives
reach
in
out.
Toronto. And she lives in Toronto, so she's in the same time zone. So and this is how
Okay,
relationships are built. You have to build your
right.
trust and you move on. So great. We were thinking about 30 minutes. We are already like close to 40 minutes in the session, which is great. And there are questions coming in. So if you have any questions, people ask. We have another. I can keep tea for another 4 5 minutes in the session before I have to say her goodbye because she has a long day ahead of her. I have a long day ahead of me, and some of you are going to go to sleep. So if you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, put those questions in the comment, and we will be able to see these questions later on. And T will be happy to respond if there is any need for response. And please connect with each other. See, LinkedIn and these sessions are great opportunities for you to connect with each other. And as I said, always don't go and ask for things. Try to contribute first, and that's how you build relationship. So contribute your thinking, your whatever expertise you have, and try to help other people. And this is going to build the network and connectivity. So if there are no questions, I'll wrap it up with the last comment from T on what we discussed. Um, Maybe just recap on how do we find um, passion, and
Mhm.
why should we not look at perfectionism? Just two pointers, and then we'll wrap it up.
Hamad, before we end, I just want to thank you again for having me on the show. It's been such a pleasure talking with you. I love our interactions through LinkedIn and Growth Academy. So I would just say passion is a very important word for me because it's really what drives you to your purpose and really completing your mission, so to speak, in this life. And it really brings a lot of pleasure and fulfillment. And like the worst thing is to be in a job doing something because you have to make money that's really not fulfilling. And there's nothing wrong with stepping out of that and really just sitting down, putting a piece of paper and say, what is it that I really want to be doing? Write it out, get clear on that, and the universe will bring opportunities to you to make it happen. So it's very important to make sure you do that exercise. um, and the whole perfection thing, like I said, is just important to be aware of that and to address it as soon as it comes up, and also be clear on your destination. Where am I trying to get? I'm here, and here I am trying to be perfect. Perfect perfect will take you off your path. Perfect will completely above your path that you should be on. And um I mean, I'm preaching this and I still need to practice it better. But there's improvement. There's always room for improvement in everything that we do. And just like being very aware of, I have a problem with perfection, trying to be perfect. Just be aware of it and address it immediately. That's it.
So thank you very much, T, for your time. And this is, I mean, we can go on for like
Yes, we could
one
talk for
more
hours.
hour, yeah, because topic is so close to your heart, so close to my
Hmm.
heart, and people are engaging and all that.
Right.
So thank you for your time, and I would also like to thank people who came in and stayed with us for 40 minutes, and I'm sure they gained a lot of insights to this. Yes, please go ahead.
One before we leave, I just want to put in a shameless plug that I will soon too have my own podcast going. I'm working with the marketing team right now to develop a podcast on using small data in healthcare, primarily the power of small data in healthcare, to help quality improvement. So I have a number of folks lined up to chat with T. And it's actually called Let's Talk Small Data with T. And we're going to be talking with some data professionals, some healthcare professionals across the globe um, about this whole movement from focusing on big data to focusing or paying attention to small data because there is power. So that will start in February. So links to that will be on my LinkedIn
Great,
and my website. Yeah.
super.
So very excited
So
about that.
absolutely. I mean, this is how we grow, and when we
Yeah.
help the other people, this is feed for us. So we grow with. I mean, it just provides us so much energy to do more
Yeah.
with.
Totally.
So thank you very much, T.
Thank you.
This moment, I will put you backstage to stay there for a minute
Okay.
because I want to speak to you, and then we'll say goodbye. So again, last thing, say bye to T and put that bye in your comments so that she looks at it and she will definitely feel good about it. And connect with her, follow her.
Right.
You need to follow these great people who are inspirations, who can like bring in inspiration every day for us. So thank you very much, T, for your time. I'm
Thank
just
you.
backstage. So thank you very much, people, my LinkedIn family, for joining in. I hope you enjoyed the show and keep coming back. My passion is to help you grow in 2021. I am launching a 33-day challenge, growth challenge in February. So please keep following that. And it's going to be an application process. For people who are really passionate about growth and really want to grow in 2021. I will work personally with them for 4 weeks and help them find their path to growth. So stay connected, keep coming back on my profile, watch these regular videos that I bring in, these live shows, and my posts, uh, and you will get inspiration from those, and you will learn when I launch the program, you will be able to apply for that. And because I really want to work with a smaller group, it has to be an application process, and I will handpick few people, and it's going to be an interesting exercise and experience for those who join in. So thanks again, and a bit of tooting my own horn.